Welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off, the podcast where three Salt Lake City based critics mouth off about movies. I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Brooks Bird.
And I'm Adam McDonald.
You see what I did there? I went old school
You
with the
did.
intro. It's in the name. Well, as we record, the Utah Film Critics Association has just concluded its annual voting for all of the important categories in filmmaking from 2025. So just
Dun,
like we
dun,
did last year,
dun.
thank you, Brooks. Just like we did last year, we're going to go through each category, talk about what our colleagues got right, and more importantly, talk about what our colleagues got wrong, because there's quite a bit of both. All right, let's jump right in because we have a lot to get through. We're about to go through probably 50 movies. First category, Brooks, take us through the nominees for Best Non-English Feature.
We have It Was Just an Accident, No Other Choice, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, and Seurat. The winner was It Was Just an Accident, and the runner-up was Sentimental Value, and I did not vote for either of these.
This is the first of many categories that I honestly felt like had no losers in it.
No.
Like strong top to bottom. My vote was for Seurat. I thought that
Same.
was, yeah,
Yep.
that was the most stunning experience of the year. And I had to go against my own standards on this when I've talked to you guys about this off mic because it uses semi-professional actors and that usually drives me crazy and takes me out of a movie. But oh my goodness, this is one of the most harrowing, surprising, shocking experiences of the year.
I kind of don't think you could have done it the way it was with professional actors
Yeah,
because
no.
they just wouldn't have the natural
The credibility.
the camaraderie that they had. They all seemed like they were actually friends and a group, who all know each other, just stuck out in the middle of nowhere on that double-edged sword as the film starts.
It had definitely the biggest what the hell moments for me this year. Like I was
I know
live
there were
texting a
two,
friend.
at
Yeah, there's
least.
there's multiple of them, yeah, but
Yeah.
I was telling a friend and he was laughing along and then the next thing happened and he's like, I couldn't say anything. So my recommendation is if you know one of us and you go and see this for the first time, text us throughout it because we will all have a good time.
Feel free to live text.
Yeah,
Yes.
your mood in that movie is going to change frequently and unexpectedly. Well, our colleagues chose wrong, but they did choose two really wonderful films. This is a can't miss category, but the three of us agree should have been Seurat. All right, Adam, take us through Best Animated Feature.
So for best animated, we had Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. And the winner was Little Amelie or the Character of Rain with the runner-up of K-pop.
All right, I'm surprised K-pop didn't win because it had a lot of love in the room, and I love it myself, but I
It's
didn't vote
fine.
for either one of these. Once again, I didn't vote for either. I voted for Arco. I loved Arco. I thought it was the most unique of all the projects.
Even more than
Amelie,
Amelie.
I
Wow.
did think so, Brooks, and I
Well, you
thought
also didn't watch it with a wife and 8-year-old, so that may
that's
have
true.
had
That might have
something to do
changed
with
it for
my
me.
experience.
I didn't do that, and I thought that was the one I voted for too, was Little Amelie.
Oh,
I thought it was
good.
a really unique, interesting story. I like how we had an animation that actually was in multiple languages because it was a.
Mm-hmm.
I also put it up for best non-English film too, but I thought it was just a beautiful little story, and it was something that was a little bit different than I'd ever seen before. And there's so much you can mine out of it if you want to dive into faith and
Mm-hmm.
family and belief and philosophy.
I was kind of worried at the beginning.
Yeah, you told me. You're like,
I was
oh,
texting you when it
yeah.
started, and I was like, am I gonna like this? And yeah, it just completely wins you over when you figure out where it's actually going.
hmm
And wow, just so good.
I say, and I really enjoy K-pop Demon Hunters. In fact, that was the
It's
one I
fine.
was going back and forth on until I actually hit the vote button. The only one I'm glad didn't get it was I thought Zootopia got a pity nomination.
I feel like
So,
Elio also is a pity vote.
mhm.
Totally agree. Those two movies didn't belong in this category. They're not as good as the other three. I'm fine with K-pop and I'm fine with Little Amelie.
I
I
I
just wish
think
Arco had gotten some love.
I think with K-pop though, if this had been most other years, it might not even be on this list.
It
It was
might
a
not.
weak year for
I
animation.
had to abstain from the
hmm
ballot because I had only seen K-pop and Zootopia 2, and we have to seen at least three. And I was like, I think that shows how sad it was.
And I only
Yeah.
And I didn't
nominated
even
three.
realize it until I was voting, and I'm like, is that seriously all I've seen?
I disagree about K-pop. I think it's wonderful. I think the top three are strong. I think the bottom two are not strong. But I got shut out on this one. I'm just going to have to live with it. So, Brooks, take us through best documentary feature.
Best documentary, we've got 2,000 Meters to Andrivka, The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, The Librarians, Orwell, 2 plus 2 equals 5, as it always will, and The Perfect Neighbor. The winner was Alabama Solution, with The Perfect Neighbor as our runner-up.
This is a category that's strong every year. 2025 was no exception.
This
I
was a
didn't vote for
crazy year.
either
Hmm.
of these movies. I voted for the Orwell film. I love Raoul Peck's movies. I know that he did I Am Not Your Negro. That's the thing people know him for the best, but he also did this limited series called Kill All the Brutes. That's
Hmm,
amazing that
the
you
title's
absolutely
familiar.
need to see. So again, strong category. I don't have a problem with Alabama Solution or Perfect Neighbor. They are infuriating though, those two movies.
Oh,
To
100%.
say
Yeah.
the least.
My tagline this year was every time I put on a documentary, it's like, how bad is this movie going to make me angry?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Perfect Neighbor I saw at Sundance, and it's one of the most harrowing things you've ever seen. And for those who haven't seen it, it's about basically a racist Karen who kills a neighbor who's black, but the whole movie is told through the police body cams. So it really makes you feel like you're there because you really are. So that one was fantastic. That was my choice, but Alabama Solution I'm perfectly fine with.
Yeah.
The one that I would say was my favorite that I knew wasn't going to win, so I didn't vote for it, was The Librarians, which is about the book bannings and how there's this whole, like, not conspiracy theory, but just a power theory behind it of people trying to stay in
Hmm.
power. And to me, as someone who like grew up reading so much and worked in a library and everything else, it's like I feel if we had more people educated on these topics, we may not get to the steps where we have the Alabama Solution and the Perfect Neighbor.
There's one film on here that doesn't fit with the others, and it's Come See Me in the Good Light, which
Yeah.
there's always an illness film every year too,
Hmm.
of people struggling with catastrophic and sometimes fatal illnesses or injuries. And those movies affect me very deeply, and this one definitely did too. So even though it didn't get a lot of love in our voting, I want people to see it if they can. All right, let's keep moving. Adam, you're going to take us through best stunts, a new category this year for
Yeah,
UFC.
brand new category. And then, of course, not the world's the best year for stunts. So we had F1 from the world of John Wick Ballerina, the only thing it will ever get nominated for. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, Predator: Badlands, and The Running Man, also the only thing it'll ever get nominated for.
Hmm.
The winner was Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, and the runner-up was From the World of John Wick Ballerina. I am upset that we did not have any love for Nobody 2 on this list.
Yeah, that
I
should have been
nominated
nominated.
it.
I think based on the nominees that we were able to vote on, it's exactly the way I would have played it out. Mission Impossible
Mm.
1, Ballerina 2, totally fine with it. I was super bummed to see Running Man on there. I think that
It makes
movie's
no sense.
it's a stinker. It's not a good movie. And it also didn't really have a lot of stunts.
It's very pedestrian in the
Yeah.
action sequences. I
Yeah.
don't care how much of it he did him, Glenn Powell may have done himself. For Edgar Wright, it's just so sad to sit through this movie.
It's maybe his worst film.
It
And
is his worst film,
all that
period.
matters is based on what we had to vote on, Mission Impossible had to win and it did.
Yes,
So
that is
just
stunts the movie.
stunts the movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I still don't blame Edgar Wright for that. I really do think it was the studio.
I'm telling you what happened.
Yeah,
We
I
all
know.
know. He moved from Universal to Paramount, and this is exactly what we get,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, tell us, Brooks, what we get in best sound editing.
We have F1, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Adam's favorite,
Yay.
Warfare, and to no one's surprise, Warfare 1 with F1 somehow.
I do not understand F1
It's
in this
a
Yeah.
racing
category.
movie. We've all seen them.
I don't get it. I
It's
don't I
the
did
same sound mix we heard in The Final Destination.
it's the same sound mix you hear in Top Gun Maverick.
Yep.
And I get what it's designed to do, and I suppose it's effective, but I didn't consider it part of what made that movie successful. There isn't much that makes that movie successful, and sound design
No.
was not good enough to overcome its other failings. So that one shocked me. But it doesn't matter because it
No.
had to be Warfare. Warfare was a sonic experience unlike
Mm.
anything we've ever had. It took what was unforgettable about Civil War and made an entire movie based on that. It took like a slice of Civil
Very
War
true.
and it exploded it into an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, I didn't have many soapboxes this year. There was no Wild Robot, unfortunately. And that was actually one thing that we brought up. There was a lot of good movies this year, a lot
Yeah.
of good things that we nominated. I was happy overall with our nominations,
Hmm.
but there wasn't a ride or die.
Right.
And
No.
the closest I got was this. And I'm like, there's no way you could not give it best sound. That sound is that the sound design is
If
probably
anything.
the main character in the movie because it's an
Yep.
ensemble piece. There is no main character.
Right.
This is the main character. And gives you, it turns it into a horror movie. It turns it into an action movie. It turns it into any type of feeling you're trying to have, because there's no score, it had to carry all the work.
No argument from us. It had to be Warfare, whatever on F1. I would not have voted for that, but all kudos to Alex Garland and that film. Adam, before we take a break, take us through one more. FX, Best Special Effects.
So our nominations were obviously Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Predator, Badlands, Sinners, and Superman, which was a weird one. I wasn't expecting that one to get
I
in there.
know.
I am very, very proud of us because we gave Frankenstein best visual effects, and the runner-up was Avatar, Fire and Ash, which I did not think was going to happen.
I
Nope.
didn't either. I mean, when everything's a visual effect, is any of it a visual effect?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
keep saying it and I'll keep saying it because that's how I feel. There wasn't even anything new. It was everything we've seen in the first two movies.
It's definitely a direct and exact copy of the second movie. I'm glad that Avatar did not win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so upset that it got runner up. It's fine because I'm just so proud of us for voting for Frankenstein. That movie had to win between the practical and the subtlety of the computer generated stuff. I just thought that it was absolutely perfect from an FX standpoint. I'm just proud of us for that one.
It's definitely the most flawless of the bunch.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to pick it up with best editing. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off. We're running through the Utah Film Critics Association voting, talking about the winners and losers from our recent marathon session. All right, pick it up, Brooks, with best editing.
So for editing, we have F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Warfare. And again, surprise, surprise, the right movie won with Warfare and Sinners picking up
Yay.
film editing runner up.
I'm super happy with both of these. I would have been
Yes.
okay with just about any
Most of them.
runner-up, honestly, but Warfare had to win. Couldn't be more happy. But Adam, it's your soapbox.
No, this is such a tight film. We've already talked about the sound design, but the fact that it does play out in real time, you have to time things so specifically, and you've got to have this scene sync up perfectly over here, and no, this 2 seconds needs to be on the cutting room floor because this shot has to switch halfway through. It's mind-boggling how they could possibly do that. So, I mean, there's no other choice.
Cheers to us on that one. All right, Adam, take us through best score.
All right, so for best score, we had F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. The winner, which isn't surprising, was Sinners with the runner-up of Hamnet.
Mm-hmm.
The only one in this category I thought stuck out like a sore thumb was, of course, F1, but everything else I was happy to see there. I personally voted for One Battle After Another. I love the combination of Paul Thomas Anderson and Johnny Greenwood. It made me think of There Will Be Blood, the best movie the two of them did together. And there was something about the score in that film that was very arresting, very attention grabbing. It was not common what Johnny did with the music in that movie. And he did the same thing with One Battle After Another. So I really believed that deserved it. But obviously, I'm totally fine with Sinners. It's a movie about music. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's any movie that should have, I mean, it would have been Sinners. But I don't know what movie everyone else saw when they saw F1.
I don't either.
I don't
Even with
either.
it just getting all these technical awards,
No.
I don't. When I saw it pop up, I was like, did it have a score? Which some
Oh,
people would say is a good thing, but I think that just shows it's super forgettable.
Do you guys remember? It was a couple episodes where I talked about the fact that this year is thin. There's not 20 great movies, there's like 10. And I think that that's why a movie like F1 got into as many categories as it did. It was not a super strong year. We talked about it with stunts and we've talked about it with a lot of these categories. F1 doesn't belong in any of them. It's a paint by numbers summer popcorn movie. It's not good enough. And I can't believe we're still talking about it. All right,
Speaking
who's
of which-
next? I think it's Brooks. So, Brooks, why
Yes.
don't you take us through cinematography?
So again, with the squeaker is F1, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. And of course, Terrence Malick won for Train Dreams. And thankfully, Sinners was our runner-up.
Well, I knew that was coming. Of course, I wanted Train Dreams to win. I love that movie, and I love the way that movie looks. So, Nanny, nanny, boo boo, Brooks.
I don't know. These screensaver movies just don't do anything for me.
Well, you and I,
But
we should do a
it
Terrence
is
Malick
pretty. It's fine.
marathon together.
No, I mean I could use a good nap.
Oh my, I'll watch all the Screams with you if you watch all the Terrence Malick movies with me.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
But you have to alternate them. So
Oh,
that way none of you fall asleep.
Brooks, even though you don't love the film and you don't love the pace of it, you have to admit that it looks pretty.
I said it was pretty,
Okay, good.
and that's it.
And just such a unique choice to film it in the ratio
Ratio.
that they did. So
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm finally starting to get some wins here. I'm not sure if you're noticing it. I'm thrilled about it. All right. Now we're going to talk about best screenplay. Adam, you're up.
So we have Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Sorry Baby, and my choice of Sorry Baby won with
Yes.
Sinners as the runner-up.
Double yes.
Good choices here. I voted for One Battle After Another because I thought as an adaptation, it was really pitch perfect. Difficult, complicated, quirky plot to pull off. And I thought the screenplay did everything it was supposed to. But this is another kind of murderer's row category. There were lots of great projects here. And there's a theme that you're going to start noticing as a listener. There was a darling movie this year for the Utah Film Critics Association, and it was Sorry Baby. That movie was loved by the three of us as well. It was one of Brooks's top 5 of the year. I didn't think that it was worthy of a top 5 vote myself, but I do have to admit, from a screenplay standpoint, top notch.
Yeah, it was, and I talked about this, and then I had someone try to look down the nose at me when I was talking about the dialogue. I'm like, yes, I understand the screenplay is more than dialogue, but just
what he
I
does.
mean, even just on the pure dialogue part of it, it is the most natural sounding dialogue I've ever heard in a movie. I saw myself on screen, even though I wasn't a woman or going through what she was going through. Like my friend circle was up there.
Yeah.
And the way they handled very specific moments that could have been done very poorly. And I think we all know what I'm talking about involving a house. It was just done just the right way to where you had the impact, but you didn't need to be in the room when it happened.
Honestly, as much as I loved One Battle, I have no problem with Sorry Baby winning this
Yeah.
category. Very, very strong. All right, let's go now to the Vice Martin Award. Brooks, go through the category but remind people what this award is.
So this is in honor of our creators, Jeff Weiss and Jimmy Martin, and they are very proud of us most years, I feel like, even
Yep.
though I think that some of the group probably is getting to the point where they might not even know who they are.
It is something that's very important to the Utah Film Critics Association, honoring these two gentlemen, but we have the double specific honor
Oh, yes.
because they were the
This
founders
is-
of this very show.
Yeah.
It's their
Exactly.
show.
It means a
And that
lot
is-
to us.
That is why we're here.
So this is for outstanding performance in a science fiction or horror film. This is where we get to let our hair down and have a little fun honoring our friends. So what are the nominees, Brooks?
We have Alfie Williams for 28 Years Later, Amy Madigan in Weapons, Elle Fanning, Predator Badlands, Indy the dog is a good boy, yes he is, and Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. And this year we had a tie.
Yes.
We had Alfie Williams and Amy Madigan.
I've been
Yes.
stumping for Alfie Williams for
Me
many,
too.
many
Oh
months.
yeah,
Yep.
since we
You
saw
know
it.
that 28 Years Later made it into my personal top 5, and Alfie was a big part of why. But before I saw Weapons, that was my choice.
And you
I
were worried
totally
about
agree.
Weapons.
I was. I didn't think it would be for
Yeah.
me. And Amy Madigan steals that movie. So I love the idea of the two of them sharing this prestigious Big Movie Mouth Off award. And that's what I'm going to
Both
call it.
horror movies.
Kind of both horror movies. Absolutely. I think Jimmy would have been very happy with this choice.
Yeah, and one thing I brought up, this is my other one I had a soapbox, was Amy Madigan, like, is
Oh,
wonderful, and I was
so
totally
good.
happy with her. But Alfie Williams, a 12-year-old kid, runs that movie until he meets Ray Fiennes. And then Ray Fiennes is the first time we have someone and there are established actors in this, don't get me wrong. It's not like there's nobodies. These are very well actors, but for a 12-year-old to hold his own and then finally get to Ray Fiennes' character with Dr. Kelson and still hold his own against
Yeah.
one of the greatest living actors, like,
Yeah.
where's he going to be in 10 years?
It's so well done, and Alfie knows just how to play every scene he's in. I'm just in love with his performance. But Brooks, I mean, Amy Madigan, we're going to be
She's
talking
crazy.
about that performance for years.
Well, especially because we're getting a prequel. She gets her own movie. So
I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how that goes. But she's come a long way from just being Uncle Buck's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, the scene that got me that truly won me over was the kitchen scene.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say what happens,
Do not, but wow, I
but when
totally
you
agree.
get to the kitchen, it's just the way she handles it and just her whole demeanor. She just is in complete control.
She's the person in that moment that tells everyone what kind of movie they're in.
Yep.
It's a lot of responsibility, and she takes it and absolutely nails it. All right, well, great categories, so much fun. Before we take another break, we're going to talk about best ensemble. Adam.
So we had One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery, I'm not sure why, and Warfare. So this one, I agree and disagree with part of it. So the winner was Sinners, and the runner-up was Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. And I'm not sure, again, what movie they were watching.
This is another one of those where they needed something to vote for.
Totally, Brooks. And I think they thought they were voting for Glass Onion because Glass Onion is an ensemble performance,
Yes.
and this one
Yes.
is not. This
No.
movie is two people and then everybody else.
Yep.
So I also hopped on my soapbox for Warfare because that movie is an ensemble movie. That whole point of that movie is this cast working together because that's what it is in real life. They were Navy
Yeah.
SEAls.
Mm-hmm.
There
It's
isn't
a
a
team.
standout person.
I'm fine with Sinners. I think that
Yes.
is a wonderful
Yes.
ensemble, especially because members of the ensemble drop off as the movie goes, and everybody else has to pick up the slack for them. And some of them actually change sides, so to speak. So the ensemble has a lot of work to do. Everybody is up to it, and it's really, really well done. When we come back, we're going to talk about the 6 big ones. This is going to get exciting. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back one last time on episode 47 of Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Brooks Bird.
And I'm Adam McDonald.
We're to the big ones. We're running down the UFCA voting results for 2025. We have come to best performance in a supporting role female. Brooks, run it down.
We have Amy Madigan for Weapons, Ariana Grande, Wicked for Good for some reason,
Barf.
Fanning, Sentimental Value, Tayana Taylor, One Battle After Another, and Wunmi Musaku for Sinners. Our winners, Amy Madigan again,
Yay!
and Wunmi for Sinners.
Great choices. Rare double win for an artist. That doesn't happen with us very often, that they get Vice
And
Martin and
double win for horror.
double win for horror. Yeah. Well, we already talked about how great Amy Madigan is. Woody is wonderful. It's difficult to pick a supporting person out of a cast we just voted for as ensemble.
True.
But she does stand out, and I do think that we're kind of rewarding her for the work of everyone, and I'm fine with it. She was great.
To hold her own against the rest of the cast is great, especially when most people probably only know her from Loki, where
Yeah,
she was very much a supporting character, but
She's super good in that, though.
but stills the show.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
she stills most of the show. So I'm very glad to see her pull through and be recognized here as well.
Good 2 names. It had to be Amy, but I was really glad to see Wunmi there too. Adam, best performance in a supporting role, male.
So
Take
this
a
was our big
breath.
one this year. This was our 7 nominee category, which we've never had before. So we had Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Jacoby Jupe for Hamnet, Paul Mescal for Hamnet, Sean Penn, One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Going back to that ensemble cast, we had the winner was Delroy Lindo from Sinners with Jacob Elordi Frankenstein as the runner-up.
This one was probably the biggest bummer for me of the day because I really wanted Sean Penn to win this. I've been talking about him ever since I saw One Battle After Another. I feel like he's got such a tough role to play. It could have so easily have been camp and
Oh, yeah.
silly, and it wasn't. He plays it like he actually believes it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
It starts
so
on that
effective.
note.
It does. It
And
does.
you hate him so
when
much.
she wakes him up, yeah, it totally starts on that note, and you're like, what are they doing with this? And I was like, is this gonna get wacky or something? And then it just proceeds the way it does, and it's pitch perfect.
I've just mentioned about Wunmi winning as a sort of reward for the great ensemble work. Do you think it's the same thing, Adam? You hinted at it with Delroy.
I think so, just because that whole cast does work so well to carry the whole movie. I mean, like, even though he wasn't nominated, Jack O'Connell too, he's in there, and he's such a main part of everything going on as the villain. So I think that in a sense we are recognizing people for their contribution as a whole and also individual, because this may or may not come up later on. Who knows? But my money though was on Jacob Elordi. That was my vote. And we reviewed Frankenstein recently, so I won't go too much into it. But he does a full transformation, but he doesn't do it like how Eddie Redmayne did in The Theory of Everything. Jacob Elordi accomplished 5 times that with prosthetics and makeup.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been fine with him winning, actually. I think he
Yes.
was the
Yeah.
strongest person of the non-Sean Penn part of the list.
And to get two from Hamnet, I mean, that's crazy.
Well, there were two from a couple films. There was
Oh
also
yeah,
two
one
from one
battle, got
battle.
two.
So
Yeah.
there was a lot of good male supporting
This is
roles
probably
to
how we
choose
wound
from.
up with seven.
A really strong year for that. Honestly, on my list, Delroy would have been last. It's not because his performance is bad, but I thought almost everyone else on this list was stronger than him. Benicio del Toro maybe isn't in that movie enough to carry a win in this category, but he's
No,
always good.
but
I
yes.
mean, Anthony Hopkins was in Silence of the Lambs for like what, 15 minutes, and he won.
It's
So
totally true. It's totally true. We're getting to the money categories now. Best female lead performance. Brooks, take us through the list.
We have Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another, Eva Victor for Sorry Baby, Jessie Buckley in Hamnet, Renate Reinsve for Sentimental Value, and Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And the winner was Jessie Buckley with Rose Byrne kicking up number two.
hmm
No arguments with either. It had to be Jessie Buckley, and I think it had to be Rose Byrne. I don't know what Chase Infinity is doing in this category. I thought that was a supporting performance personally, but she's good. It's just I didn't think
Yeah,
it was a lead performance. I'm really happy with this one. Brooks, what about you?
I'm very happy with Jessie Buckley. Obviously, you know how I feel about Hamnet. I mean, the movie blew
Yep.
me away. It's Chloe Zhao's best movie, the one we've been waiting for her to make. And Jessie Buckley's always good ever since I think it was Fargo.
Hmm.
I may have first seen her in,
Probably,
and I
yeah.
was like, oh man, she's good. And then she's just always good. The only one I don't think belonged was Rose Byrne because for me it was just another Rose Byrne performance.
Oh,
But
wow.
maybe it's
Really?
just because I'm so exposed to her. We watch the show she's in with Seth Rogen, and I don't know. I love Rose Byrne. I love her, but for maybe it was also just because it was just like another drama.
I thought she was great. I thought that role required a lot of her, a
It
lot
was
of
surprisingly
commitment from her.
funny.
It was surprisingly funny. And I
Yeah.
sat there the whole time watching her do this really tough role, thinking she was in Spy and she killed in Spy.
Oh, she
Oh, yeah.
won. She won for that.
I
Yeah, they gave
know.
her best supporting.
Thanks
It
to
was
me.
so, so good. Well, I'm fine with her as
I
the
started that
runner
train.
up here. Let's get to best performance by an actor male. What are the nominees for that, Adam?
All right, so we had Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, Joel Edgerton in Train Dreams, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, Michael B. Jordan Sinners, and Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme. And our winners were Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and our runner-up was Joel Edgerton from Train Dreams.
I voted for Joel. I didn't
I
expect him to
did.
get second place. I'm
Of
so excited
course.
that he got second place. I'm totally fine with Michael B. Jordan winning, though.
Well, and this is, I think my surprise for this category wasn't so much who won, but who didn't. I mean, I think we all kind of went in expecting Timothy Chalamet, but I mean, Marty Supreme didn't get much and it just got shut out.
Hmm.
So I just thought it
So
was
did
very
another
interesting.
movie.
Another movie, which I'm sure I'll mention as my biggest surprise of the night when
Hmm.
if we talk about
Get
that.
there.
But I'm perfectly happy with either one. I think Joel Edgerton, for me, the reason why the performance was better was because how, he carried the movie with what felt like 50 lines. Like so much
Yeah.
of what he's doing relies on his whole body or his facial expressions, not just emoting the words that he's speaking, of which there are few. I mean, there's a lot of dialogue, don't get me
It's an
wrong.
actual performance. Yeah.
It's an actual performance, but it's a full combination. But that being said, Michael B. Jordan was great too because he played two different roles.
Yeah,
They were
he was
both,
great.
even
Almost
if they were,
three.
yeah, almost three. He could always tell them apart. They were different characters. I would say the biggest mistake was the fact that Dylan O'Brien was not up there, but that's a different story. So
Yeah, I know that you voted for him, and I'm sad he didn't make the ballot because I think
he
he
was
would have.
almost there too. It was this
I,
close.
I think he would have gotten some love in the room had he been on it because
Probably,
he
yeah.
probably would have beat my Joel Edgerton vote if I'm honest. But I'm happy with Michael B. Jordan in this spot, and I'm happy with Joel Edgerton. I would have loved to have seen him win it, but I knew he wouldn't because Brooks was in the room, and I know he was going to kill it. Speaking of you, Brooks, you get to do Best Director. Who are our nominees?
Ooh. We have our Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Eva Victor for Sorry Baby, Guillermo del Toro in Frankenstein, Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. And, much to most people's surprise, Eva Victor won for Sorry Baby, and Ryan Coogler's Sinners came up number two.
Sinners was really a favorite of the UFCA, which is really saying something because that movie came out so long ago. Think about when that movie came out. It's
That's
been
true.
nearly a year, right? And
Missy can't even remember that she didn't finish the movie.
well, she
It
needs
wasn't
to.
it wasn't because she didn't want to. It's just I think we started it and then
Yeah.
got distracted with something and then she never mentioned going back to it and there was just other things, so we just haven't.
Well, she needs to see it. And
Oh, I
Yes.
know.
I'm happy with that one in the number two
But now she
position.
needs to see Sorry Baby
Well, okay. Let's talk about
because
Sorry Baby.
I'm sorry, but just the fact that the performance she gives, the directing she makes with everyone else, it's her screenplay. I mean, she's just in complete control of this thing from start to finish on every level. And I keep saying this is my zone of interest hot take to make sexual assault even slightly funny is a weird accomplishment, especially for a woman to even want to and nail it.
It's an
That was a weird way
incredible.
to phrase that.
No, I know what you mean, but it's an incredible achievement in directing. I just don't think it was the best achievement in directing this year. And I know I'm in the minority because she won the room. She had a very persuasive advocate in our group, one of our members who speaks very passionately about his favorite films, and people often follow him. So
He's
I
not why
think
I did, though.
I
I
told him he's got
I
to get the
believe you.
tattoo of the cat
We
now.
have my top
So
five.
Oh, absolutely. You've been there from the beginning. And I have I think I gave this movie 4 stars when we reviewed it. I think
But
it's
that, yeah.
wonderful.
But there's a
But
lot of four-star movies.
there's a lot of 4 star movies, and for me, this wouldn't have risen to the top. But Adam, how'd you feel about how this category shook out?
again, I wasn't upset with anyone who could have won.
Yeah.
Like they were
Yeah,
all great
yeah.
movies. Am I happy with the ones that got it? Yeah, and I'm right there with Brooks as far as how I feel about Eva Victor and how she everything she did in this was masterful. So I have no complaints whatsoever. But Ryan Coogler, the Sinners, I could have been happy with either. I think
Mhm.
if I had to pick one person who I wouldn't have put up there, and you're gonna hate me, but it would be Chloe Zhao for Hamnet.
No, come on.
But
He
that's
is
just
our
because you
minority here.
it didn't no, well, you guys are in the majority, but it didn't hit me like it did you guys.
I
And
voted
that
for
for
her.
me, yeah.
I wanted
I
her to
voted
win.
for Eva Victor. So
I voted for Eva in the long run, too.
I still vote for Chloe.
But
But
if it had been a runoff, I may have switched. I don't know.
well, this episode, we don't title our episodes this way, but if we did, I would call this episode Sorry Hamnet. We'll find out why right now.
I thought it
Adam.
was going to be the episode titled "I Like Brooks More Than Adam" right now.
When has that ever been true?
I think it was like last episode.
Oh, you're right.
actually.
Okay.
It was,
All right.
yeah.
Brooks is currently in the lead. All right. Well, listen, let's get to the big one. Best picture. I think I sort of gave it away, but Adam, take us through the list anyways.
All right, so it was Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Sorry Baby, Train Dreams, and the winner was Sorry Baby with Hamnet as the runner-up.
I love both of them.
Me too. And I wish it had been the other direction. I wish it had been Hamnet first and Sorry Baby next. That would have felt good to me because I just can't say enough good things about Hamnet. And Sorry Baby on this list for me would have been like 4, probably. And it's not because it's a bad film. It's because even though I said there weren't 20 great films, there were 5 great films. And I think we nominated the right 5 films, personally.
Well,
Mhm.
Twinless, but that's different.
No. But it's on
I'm never
Hulu.
gonna let that go
You
because
know.
I know people who didn't watch it, and now I'm like,
Disney.
you realize when
Catch
you go
up,
watch
people.
this and you realize you wanted to nominate it because I was right, you're gonna have to buy me lunch. So
So 2 takeaways from the day. Complete shutout for Marty Supreme. And Adam, the other complete shutout was
One Battle After Another, which was
Yeah.
I
the
know.
biggest surprise for me
I
because
know.
that one actually took home, let's see here, the most number of nominations. It was 13.
Shocking.
Didn't
And
win anything.
nothing.
So Adam, your biggest regret of the year is Twinless. Do you have one, Brooks?
I don't think so.
Mine
all
would have
of
been
these are-
28 years later had it not been for Alfie getting on Device Martin. If that one little tidbit hadn't happened, I'd have been pretty upset. But you feel pretty good, Brooks, overall? Like most of
Yeah,
your
I
favorites
don't-
made it?
I don't have any complaints. It's a weird year. Again, I think, like I said, with the animation department, I find it very weird that I was able to vote for non-English and not animated. That's very weird. So I think that shows how the year was, at least for me.
So for you, it's the fact that there just wasn't enough good animation this year. I totally agree.
We have to nominate at least 3 items per category to be able to
Right.
nominate. And then to vote, we have to have seen everything,
Yeah.
which obviously makes sense. But yeah, for animation, I literally only put 3 in there because I wasn't going to give pity votes. I didn't think Zootopia
That's-
deserved it. I didn't think Elio deserved it. I'm only going to put 3 in.
Well, I was super bummed, Adam, that you would not let me vote for Killer of Killers, Predator movie that was
Adam
so
didn't
good
stop
this year.
you. The rules did.
The rules stopped me because it did not get a theatrical release, which
Yeah.
I understand. I forgot that part, but I wish that movie had been in there because I think it would have placed had it been in.
I
It's
still
so good.
somehow haven't launched it.
You have to see it. Well, look at that. We got a Predator movie mixed in that wasn't even
Yeah.
part of it. So it was a great year for film. It wasn't the greatest year for film, but I think the stuff that rose to the top was as good as it always is.
Oh,
Those
yes.
last 5 that we got to at the end, really, really the cream of the crop. So when we come back in a couple weeks, we're going to get back to regular business, reviewing films, doing guilty pleasures, talking about our coming attractions. We have all watched so many movies over the last 2 months. It'll be nice to
Yes.
just think about 2 of them again. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Until then, I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Brooks Bird.
And I'm Adam McDonald.
Thanks for being with us. Big Movie Mouth Off was produced and edited by me, Jeff Counts, and co-hosted by Adam McDonald and Brooks Bird. Our theme music is written by Brian Z. Richards, and this show is dedicated to the memory of our founders, Jeff Michael Weiss and my partner in crime for over 5 years, the incomparable Jimmy Martin.